All right, happy Tuesday night, everybody. Welcome on into the daily broadcast. Glad you were with us wherever you may call home tonight, wherever you may be watching. In and out and about town, whatever you're doing, we are glad you're here in Raiderland World Headquarters this evening. It's Tuesday's Best, brought to you by Kyle Rogers, Remax Realty, the realtor in Raiderland for you. On Tuesdays, we make two tough choices, but you only have to make one great call to buy or sell a home in West Texas and Lubbock, and that's with Kyle Rogers at Remax Realty. He happens to be the voice of Texas Tech softball, for those who don't know, if you go check out the games there at Rocky Johnson Field. All right, we got that going on tonight. It is time for Texas Tech baseball to put up or shut up at the Big 12 baseball tournament this year. The season tomorrow boils down to one game: survive and advance. How many games do you think they can win in Arlington? It's single elimination this year for the first time ever in the Big 12 tournament. How many can they win? McCasland equals McCash. He gets extended, and basically a year extension. The contract's going to bump up to about, I don't know, $5.5 million a year in the final year. Is he worth it? Are they spending money wisely? Did you want to see more? Or are you good with the contract extension? And then Tuesday's Best, like we said, brought to you by Kyle Rogers. All-time greatest pitching matchups ever in Major League Baseball. Give me two pitchers that you would have loved to have seen in person battle against each other. Walter Johnson, the big train, versus Nolan Ryan. Don Drysdale versus Roger Clemens. You get the idea. Bob Gibson taking on, Clayton Kershaw. There you go. The pitching matchups, the incredible pitching matchups, the two best, that if you could sit there and say, I'm going into this perfect world, I want to see these two pitchers battle against each other, who would they be? And if you want to tell stories about great pitchers you saw in person, you can do that. And then Norm. One of the top 10 TV characters of all time, rest in peace, George Wendt, 76 years old today, passing away on the 32nd anniversary of the finale for Cheers, where he is the final actor with Ted Danson on set there at the bar and delivers a great soliloquy, if you will, to Ted Danson's character. I mean, Norm, greatest ever, right? One of the greatest characters ever in TV. You tell me. Let's talk about it tonight. Let's have some fun. In 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, theraiderland.com. Brought to you by United Supermarkets. All the chat line tonight. Everybody on the chat line, including James, giving us thumbs up, letting us know we're ready to go. Whether you're on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, and we hope you are, and we want to hear from you. Whether you are on our Facebook page, just like James right there, or our YouTube channel, free, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Please subscribe. Then when you subscribe, share the broadcast every day, invite people in, and invite your friends in, and then like it and do all that cool stuff. We're brought to you by them. Kyle Rogers, the aforementioned realtor in Raiderland, and Golf USA. 'Tis the golf season right now. It's just now warming up. The courses are really actually looking really good around here right now, all things considered, for mid May. Well, you get early May, mid May, and late May. You don't get like a mid late May. You don't get it. Anyways, go over there to 67th in Indiana. Tell Stacy Nix we said hey, and get your game looking great. All right, so we got all that. Oh, and the NFL has embraced flag football. Why would they not? Flag football in the Olympics, and the NFL is like, yeah, go play. Stupid. Don't do it. Anyways, Craig says the talking box is on. Indeed, it is. And the first offering on our Tuesday's Best, brought to you by Kyle Rogers and Remax Realty, Greg Maddux versus Sandy Koufax. So you got the young Sandy Koufax in his late 20s, who's just piling up no-hitters left and right, dotting the inside, wicked breaking stuff, taking on Greg Maddux. Okay. I could get behind that. Maddux, a little bit harder thrower. little bit harder thrower than Koufax. Do they get their teams? Do they get the teams, that they're pitching for, like peak Koufax with peak Dodgers, early 60s, Maddox Braves, How do we do that? How do we make that happen? I don't know. I would pay $7 to see that right there. David Collier, it's early. He's off the set, or was he ever on the set? It's getting late early. I can only assume that's a reference to Texas Tech baseball, time to put up or shut up for the Red Raiders. They're in Arlington at Globe Life Field, taking on Cincinnati tomorrow. The game is fascinating to me. If they both use the starters, and we assume they will. Nathan Taylor got the start for Cincinnati in the first go-around. He did not factor into the decision, even though he pitched fairly well. Went 12 innings. The Red Raiders gacked it up in the ninth, giving up 2 runs to force extra innings. Mac Hewer did not end up factoring in the decision that night, and he really wasn't that good. I think he got bounced out in the late third or early fourth. But it was a night for Jack Siebert to exert his will upon Cincinnati. So, again, we said last night, I can't wait to see the mindset of Texas Tech. Now, I believe we're going to see Mac Hewer tomorrow start. But Jack Siebert could be your Wednesday guy and your Friday guy if you can get there. He went 6 innings, a little over 6 innings of great baseball, great pitching. And you think, okay, well, why don't you start him? Well, they had him starting early in the year, and it just didn't seem to set well with him. They moved him into the pin role. Seems to have worked really well. You've got about 55 pitches, I think, tomorrow night for Jack Siebert. And then you come back on, and you hope, you come back 2 days later, and you've got another 30 to 40 pitches. Postseason. Regular season, I would say 20. And they used to use McMillan like this, that he'd be a Friday guy, that he could be a middle long Friday guy if you needed him, and they could come back on Sunday in Big 12. That's really where Jack Siebert is right now. He's your McMillan on the mound. Meanwhile, from KMAC 28, David Collier at Collier on at Collier on TV on Twitter. He's been churning out these videos, these cool videos of coaches and whatnot talking like babies. I don't know how it works. I can't do that. I have no time to figure that stuff out, but he does. I was referring to May, but it works for baseball as well. There you go. So tonight, give me your all-time greatest pitching matchups. Who would you most want to see in a perfect world take the mound against each other? Nolan Ryan versus Walter Johnson. Carl Hubble, for those who know their early 30s and mid-30s baseball. So Carl Hubble versus Randy Johnson. Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander. Take some guys from the last 15, 10, 20 years. Match them up against guys from the 90s. Who would you want to see those guys pitch against if you could create that matchup? That's the Tuesday's best we asked tonight. And then also we can talk about George Wendt, the passing of him today, age 76. He called his freaking shot in the final episode of Cheers, where he does the soliloquy with Sam Malone, and it's incredible. And it's great. And he's Norm. Is Norm Peterson one of the top 10 characters all-time TV history? I would submit to you that is absolutely, positively, 100% factual. That character, out of all the characters on Cheers, one of the greatest TV shows. Last week we were just talking about the finale of Cheers was fantastic. It was well done. It summed it up. It was everything you wanted in a finale. But that George Wendt and Norm Peterson, that's one of the greatest characters, top 10 all-time TV. Not necessarily leading role, but I would put him in there. You can agree, disagree, that's fine. Tuesday's best all-time greatest pitching matchups. Give me your pitchers, eras you want to see. Tech baseball. How many games do you think they can win? And I know it's a crapshoot. And I know many of you at this point probably, maybe, are at that point that you don't care. And that's fine. So if you're on YouTube, you can get in. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland YouTube, easy to do. It's free. It's always free. You should subscribe and share. Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media is easy to do as well. Ricky Vaughn versus Kenny Powers. Rick Vaughn, he's coming to us here in, well, he was pitching in the California Penal League last year. Kenny Powers with a fantastic hair. We go from that. James goes Kershaw versus Dave Stewart of the 80s A's. Actually, Dave Stewart of the Dodgers as well, and the Texas Rangers. Yeah, okay, so we can go Dave Stewart. And Sammy Kershaw, the legendary country singer. No, I like that. Gary Stewart. Now we've got something here. Gary Stewart on the mound versus Sammy Kershaw. I'd pay money for that. Early would. Robert, Whitey Ford versus Catfish Hunter, or Doc Gooden versus Greg Maddux, dream matchups. By the way, Robert, did I hear you on a local radio station in Lubbock, Texas today calling for a sweep by the Yankees? Did I hear you texting on that? Whitey Ford, all right, so Whitey Ford and Catfish Hunter miss each other by about 5 years, maybe? Yeah, I guess. The rise of Catfish and the A's and the demise of Whitey in the early 60s. Yeah, maybe more than that. I'd have to double. Hell, I can't remember right now when Whitey Ford's career ended. Huh. Anyhow, but Doc Gooden and Greg Maddux. Peak Doc Gooden, which I got to see, which we got to watch, was just electric, ridiculous, and cool. And then Maddux would be just, doing his thing, dotting stuff. Not going to overpower you. So, and what I'm getting here from some of you guys is that styles make fights. All right? Styles make fights. They can either have two power pitchers going against each other, or you can have like a power pitcher, Walter Johnson, going against Gaylord Perry or Phil Niekro. You mean Tim Wakefield versus Nolan Ryan. God bless the catchers on that night. So what do you want to see? That would be the Tuesday's best topic tonight. You can get in on the United Supermarkets chat line. Easy to do. Fire away. Tell us what you're thinking tonight. Let's go back to Tech basketball really quickly. No surprise that they would extend the contract. I mean, it's really it's a good deal. And by that, I mean, it's a good deal for McCasland and Texas Tech. It's not that big, earth-shattering, like anything crazy. That near as I can figure out, that at the end of the tenure, he's going to make $5.56 million. I would think, and that's a 6-year out right now, that if he does better next year, they'll bump it up again. It's a rolling 6-year contract right now for McCasland, is what you have. And you have out years that you budget, and you escalate it, and you go from there. He's being paid, I think, commensurately well for the Big 12 and college basketball for what they're doing and what he's done in the first couple of years at Texas Tech. He also has to look around, and I'm talking about McCasland, and go, all right, some of that salary is over there in the Womble Center. Some of that is in the NIL budget. Some of what I could be making is going around to make me make more money. And coaches are going to have to understand that at the college level, the way NFL coaches, NBA coaches, whatever, pro coaches understand, yeah, I get this much money, but my franchise, if it's going to be good, the owner's got to spend the money over here. Now, it's collectively bargained in most sports, and coaches are outside that shield in the NFL. So we'll just focus on the NFL. But they realize still that at a certain point, they got to pay the guys over here for me to make my money. College coaches are going to have to understand that implicitly, immediately, and a lot of them won't like it, and a lot of them won't dig it, that they got to pay Peter over here. All right, they got to make that payment first. The first cuts that are going to occur in college athletics until they get a CBA, and then it will reshape a little bit. Facilities, coaches, administrative staff, secretaries, recruiting, and then everything else goes to paying the players. That's the reality of the situation. Now, we're seeing some stuff over the last 24 hours about, the NCAA, is trying to get a grant of rights and tell schools, hey, it doesn't matter what your state says. You're going to adhere to our rules. It doesn't matter what, that's antitrust. That gets struck down in a court of law in 30 minutes, and it's over. So pay no attention to that. And it goes back to some of our discussion yesterday about the whole presidential commission that, Donald Trump, love him, hate him, don't care what your politics are, but he'll throw things out there and people will be like, what? Huh? It's never going to happen. There will never be a presidential commission on sports that will have an impact on sports any more than Google the Knight Commission. All right? That's KNIGHT. Google NCAA the Knight Commission. And then you tell me how that worked out, because it's the same thing. David Collier, the only one on here who may have heard of the Knight Commission back in the day. James, do you think D. Will comes back to Tech? Don't know, don't care. If he comes back, probably at a reduced wage. They have out-recruited the roster from last year. If he wants to come back, he can. I would think they would probably find a way to get him in, but he would have to probably come back at a reduced wage, much like a guy, exactly like a free agent who tests the free agent waters, and then nobody says, yeah, I want to pay you. And they kind of come back, and their agent comes back to the original team and says, hey, what can we do here? We kind of, we kind of hung our ass out to dry, and nobody really wanted us. And what can we do here? Well, that's fine. We just signed two guys that look exactly like you, and we'll give you this if you want to. Meanwhile, back at the Big 12 baseball tournament in Arlington, where it'll be in surprise, and the surprise for everybody in Arizona is ain't nobody going to give a shit and go to it, and they might as well get rid of it. But yeah, talking baseball, Robert is saying 2 games won by Tech baseball this week. Hey, I'd take it. Extend the season. Give me something to talk about the next couple of days. Yes, you did. Grant GOR, anything to say about it? Gore, anything to say? I have no idea what you're talking about, but I believe you. Clarify and I'll elucidate. Or elucidate and I'll clarify. I'm not sure which one we need to do. I don't know if Robert needs to elucidate or if I need to clarify. Either way, yes, you did. Grant Wright, say about GOR? Gore? Al Gore? You're bringing up Al Gore? This is ridiculous. Again, if we want to talk about George Wendt and the greatness, super fans, Dub Bears, and of course, cheers. We can tonight. I really do think it's a top 10 character, and maybe we do that another time on the show, like trying to break down like top 10 supporting actors, actresses, all-time TV shows. I mean, what are we talking about? We're talking about Cosmo Kramer, right? George Costanza, or was it an ensemble cast on Seinfeld, and none of them really get to be that supporting actor? I don't know. We could go MASH, another ensemble cast. Who would norm be on MASH? Like radar? Somebody like that, maybe? Radar? Norm? Get the idea. The shows that have come out since then, they're invalidated. Most of them not really that good, probably not worth wasting our time on. And before we get out of here, so we find out today the NFL has given the okay to allow players to play in the Olympics in flag football. No pun intended, how many red flags are being raised by this? If I'm an NFL owner, do you think I'm letting my players play in the Olympics in flag football? What are we even doing here? Now I know what Roger Goodell is doing here. I know what some are doing. We're going to grow the game. That we're going to take over freaking Ethiopia. Botswana is ours. Lithuania, we will own Lithuania by having flag football in the Olympics and allowing our players to play. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But this is the same league that keeps putting regular season games in England, in Europe, and we wonder, why are we doing this? They don't care. They don't like it. It's never going to be a thing there. They're never going to play it as a youth sport. It's never going to grow. It's basketball to a point, I understand going international a little bit. Football is so uniquely American. It's never going to spread. It's not like it would be like Pakistan and India, the two greatest cricket playing countries of all time, trying to, establish cricket in America. They know nobody cares and likes about it. You don't see them trying to do it. But we're going to put flag football in the Olympics. I mean, absolutely. That's where Dak Prescott probably ends his career, right? The end of the career in Dak Prescott will occur at the Olympics. Makes no sense. Absolutely stupid. All right, Tuesday's best all-time greatest pitching matchups. Who would you have and why? You tell us on that. Texas Tech baseball, put up or shut up time. How many games can they win at the Big 12 tournament? Robert said 2 games earlier, by the way. If you get 2 games, you've taken out, and it is single elimination, so that means you take out West Virginia, and that means you move on to an area where some of the teams you might be playing really don't care about it. I mean, the recipe is simple. If you want to win this thing, you got to score a bunch of runs first. In a ballpark that typically doesn't give up a ton of runs when we've watched college baseball there until the pitching gets thin. And then, it's a big old gap double. Not necessarily home run, but gap double park. So if you can somehow get to a third game, I truly believe you can bash your way through it. But to do that, you've got to have Mac Heuer show up tomorrow night and give you about 5 or 6 innings pitched. Then you have Siebert come in and drop the hammer. So Heuer goes 5 1/3. Siebert finishes it off effectively. Again, no walks. Challenge the zone. Give up hits. Don't give up walks. And get out of there. You go to the next day. Boudreaux. Hi there. How you doing? He comes out there. He's got to give you 5, 6 innings again because Siebert's not going to be able to come to bear back-to-back days. I mean, you can pitch him, but that means things are bad, and you're trying to get through it. So that's where Trendon Parrish has to come back, in my mind, on day 2, and Trendon Parrish has to show up and be Trendon freaking Parrish. I'm going to make you own it, and I'm going to go 3 innings, and I'm going to close it out. And all of a sudden, you're through 2 days with 2 wins because you're hitting the ball well. Damian Bravo's hitting gappers. Logan Hughes probably not hitting home runs there, might, but hitting gappers. Thompson's getting on base. You're getting on base. You're doing things. You're making things happen on the base paths. So you get to Friday, and you've used 4 pitchers. I know, stay with me. It's crazy talk, but I've seen it happen. Go look at 1998 in the Big 12 tournament for Tech baseball. And now you're playing teams, hopefully, that know they're in the NCAA tournament and they don't want to waste pitching. And they start throwing out second and third line guys, and you wear them out. And now Siebert on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Siebert on Friday's got about 50 pitches. St. Petty maybe comes in and is dealing a little bit. You go from there. Saturday is a total crapshoot. Who knows what the hell happens if you can get there. Your whole season is on the line. So that means everybody who can pitch 30 pitches, 10 pitches, 15 pitches, a guy goes out there, he throws 3 balls. He might not get a chance to throw the 4th ball in the walk. Tim Tadlock goes out and pulls it. That's what Saturday would look like. Can they do it? I don't think so. Could they do it? Yeah, it's baseball. Let's see, Robert. Kevin Seitzler versus David Collier giving a sports update. I think you mean Bill Seitzler versus David Collier. But Collier would take on both Kevin and Bill Seitzler. Yeah, you're thinking of Bill Seitzler in the late 80s, early 90s. There at KMAC 28 is what I'm guessing. All right, you guys have been fun tonight. I appreciate it. Thank you for being out there. Baseball tomorrow. We will recap the game. Diamond Talk comes your way tomorrow night, 6:30. Tech plays at 12:30. Win, lose, or otherwise, we recap what happens tomorrow. It'll be What If Wednesday. We'll have that on the website in the morning, a little alt history. I want you guys to do a couple of things for me on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. Don't know where you guys were tonight. You share this on YouTube. You share it. Invite your friends in. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Everybody subscribe. Watch it on the replay. And then the same thing. If you hadn't subscribed or follow us on Facebook, do it there. We got a lot of cool stuff there on Facebook for Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. So we hit this button here. We bid you a fond adieu. Thank you, United Supermarkets, for the chat line. Golf USA and Kyle Rogers bring you Tuesday's best. 100% Tuesday's best. 2 tough choices. 1 easy call to buy or sell a home in Lubbock, and that's Kyle Rogers at Remax Realty. We'll see you in the morning at theraiderland.com.